Greetings, humans. I come in peace and with podcasts. Welcome to Podnation Media, home of the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Monster Island Film Vault, Cthulhu Jack Presents, and Films and Fermentation. All streaming exclusively on Roku. Business, monsters, whiskey, cinema, chaos. Your ears deserve better. Join Podnation Media before we probe your algorithm.
Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with taste elevation. Films and fermentation, with Leo, Batman, and Mike.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Films and Fermentation. Don't adjust your dials. Yes, I am alone this week, doing a little solo pod as the guys are taking a little bit of a spring break, and we'll be back with a brand new episode in a couple weeks. In the meantime, I'm doing a special little mini pod here where I'm going to be talking about the Oscars and my reactions to the big awards, the top 5 awards. And then we will be talking a little bit about the passing of the great Chuck Norris. I have a little tribute to him later in this episode. That's right. This is Films and Fermentation, a movie and alcohol podcast, #1 beer podcast on Good Pods. Normally, we're 3 friends who like to talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced, but today it's just me. I'm Leo, on behalf of my buddies Kevin and Mike. Welcome to Films and Fermentation. On this week's episode, it's a solo mission as I break down the biggest moments, surprises, and really decisions from the latest Oscars. From standout wins to head-scratching snubs, we're taking a look at what the Academy got right and where it might need a second take. Then we pivot from red carpets to roundhouse kicks with a tribute to the one-man genre known as Chuck Norris. Because while the Oscars celebrate acting, Chuck Norris celebrates defying physics, logic, and occasionally gravity itself. So grab a drink and join me for a night of awards analysis, action legend appreciation, and just enough sarcasm to keep things honest. Remember, you can email us at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. You can watch us on YouTube, on Rumble, and on the Podnation Media Network on Roku. We're an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported, so please consider joining the Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members-only content. That's patreon.com/filmsandfermentation. You can also text us at 904-867-4466. Well, it's sad to be drinking alone, but I am drinking alone. I am having one of my Sam Adams winter ales. As I said last episode, I'm trying to clear out the fridge and make room for some of the spring beers that are going to be coming out, or actually are already out at the time of this recording. So that's all I'm having right now. Next, we usually do This Week in Film History with Mike, but this week it's Film History with me. On March 20th, 1975, Jaws begins production, kicking off what would become the first true summer blockbuster and a lifelong fear of anything with a dorsal fin. March 21st, 1980, The Blues Brothers premiered, proving you can absolutely destroy half of Chicago and still call it a musical. On, Mike usually does this. I'm a little out of sorts here. March 28th, 1984, Police Academy premieres, launching a series that asked, what if law enforcement but chaos? On March 25th, 1985, Police Academy 2 comes out. So right away, they made a sequel. Police Academy 2, The First Assignment, hits theaters, confirming that somehow this franchise was just getting started. I mean, how could it not just be getting started? It introduced us to Bobcat Goldthwait in that episode, in that movie. March 25th, 1988, Beetlejuice premieres, teaching an entire generation that saying a name 3 times is a terrible life decision. In March 23rd, 1994, Schindler's List dominates the Oscars, with Steven Spielberg finally winning his Best Director Oscar. Well deserved for that film as well. In 1996, Primal Fear debuts and introduces the world to Edward Norton, and collectively making audiences distrust choir boys forever. And finally, in March 26, 1997, Titanic begins its record-breaking box office climb toward becoming king of the world. All right. So we don't have any beer news or beer history or anything this week, because that's, the segments that belong to my buddies. So I am just going to move right on into my main segment this evening. First thing I want to talk about is the Oscars that occurred recently, the 98th Oscars, and a little bit about some of the winners this year. I'm going to start with the best screenplay, I believe. As I said, I'm going to cover like the top 5, which would be actor, actress, picture, director, screenwriter. I'm also going to talk about supporting roles as well. So let's talk first about our screenwriting Oscars. You give out 2, which is for original and adapted. I wasn't surprised by either of these. The adapted screenplay was One Battle After Another, written by Paul Thomas Anderson, beating out Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and Train Dreams. I had a feeling One Battle After Another was going to clear up some of its award nominations this year. I was really hoping for a lot of wins for Sinners, because that was my favorite film of the year. And it did get an Oscar for original screenplay for Ryan Coogler, beating out Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, and Sentimental Value. So let's go into the acting ones. In the supporting role for actor, this was my biggest disappointment of the year. Your nominees were Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, and the winner was Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. Not that he didn't have a great performance. It was a very good performance, but the man has 3 Oscars and doesn't like to show up to the award ceremony anyway. And I feel like there were other people in this category that really should have gotten it. I wouldn't have been mad if Stellan Skarsgård had gotten an Oscar. He'd never been nominated before, and the man's been around forever. Delroy Lindo is one of my favorite character actors of all time. I really, really wanted him to win for Sinners. I would have even been happy with Benicio del Toro, because he was great in One Battle After Another, and Jacob Elordi as the monster in Frankenstein was just transcendent. So I would have been happy with anybody, but I just didn't feel like Sean Penn needed to win this one this year. In my heart, I was really hoping it would have been Delroy Lindo. In the actress and supporting role, you had Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another, Wunmi Musuka for Sinners, Inga Ibsadar Ilanius for Sentimental Value, Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, and the winner, Amy Madigan, for Weapons. I was excited about this one for 2 reasons. I love Amy Madigan, and I feel like this is sort of a career Oscar for her. And secondly, it's weird to see an Oscar go to a horror film, especially one like Weapons. So I was really happy to see the recognition there, because I think Weapons was a great movie, and I loved her performance as the villain in the film. In Best Actor, you had Chalamet for Marty Supreme, DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. And the award went to Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. I was really excited for this, because Michael B. Jordan was amazing in that movie, playing dual roles and making both roles feel like separate characters and not just an actor playing 2 different people. I mean, I know the front runner for the longest time was Chalamet, and his stock dropped after his comments about ballet and opera recently. So then the award ends up going to Michael B. Jordan, one that I was very happy with. I can give awards to Sinners all night if I had my choice. And then actress in the leading role was not a surprise. Emma Stone was nominated for Begonia, Renata Rensby for Sentimental Value, Kate Hudson for Song Song Blue, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and the winner, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. It was kind of a 99% lock that Buckley was going to win this. It was a really good movie. She is amazing in it, and I didn't see anybody upsetting her for this. That was just a standout performance. That takes us to Best Director. Again, you had Ryan Coogler for Sinners, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, and the winner, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. I would have been happy to see Anderson or Coogler win this one. I think Coogler was amazing in what he did with Sinners, but Paul Thomas Anderson, this is his 14th nomination, I want to say, and he finally won. And, you know, the man could have won for There Will Be Blood. He could have won for Boogie Nights. There's plenty of things in his career that he could have won for, so I was happy to finally see him get it. But I would have been happy with Coogler as well. Best Picture, final big award of the night. We had our multiple, list again this year, 10 films: Train Dreams, Sinners, Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, Marty Supreme, Hamnet, Frankenstein, F1, Begonia, and the winner, which I was not shocked by, One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson, Sarah Murphy, and Adam Summer producers. Again, I was really hoping for Sinners. It was my favorite movie of the year. But I did see One Battle After Another, and I did enjoy it, and I was not surprised to see this one win. So those were your big winners for the evening for the Oscars. It was not anything too surprising. I think the biggest surprise to me was, of course, seeing Sean Penn win. I was really hoping for somebody else, but everything else seemed pretty locked in by the time the night started rolling around. So we're going to move on to something a little sad here. One of our action movie heroes, Chuck Norris, passed away this week. Chuck Norris' career began in the 70s and spanned numerous decades on his way to becoming an action movie legend. He passed away on March 19th as of the recording of this episode. He was... Let's see how old he was. I know they had it in the thing here somewhere. I believe he was 85 or 86 years old. There it is. He was 86 years old at his passing. Man still is in better shape than me at 86 years old, so I'm, sad to hear that he finally passed. Chuck Norris was a martial artist turned action icon whose career kicked into high gear after winning multiple karate championships before transitioning to film in the 1970s. He gained international attention fighting Bruce Lee in Way of the Dragon in 1972, then carved out his own brand of stoic roundhouse heavy heroism in films like Good Guys Wear Black in 1978, Lone Wolf McQuade in 1983, Missing in Action in 1984, and The Delta Force in 1986, to name just a few of his films. By the 90s, he became a household name with the long-running TV series Walker, Texas Ranger, blending crime drama with his signature martial arts style. Known for his quiet intensity, no-nonsense characters, and yes, an entire internet mythology of invincibility, Norris remains one of the most recognizable action stars of his era. And in honor of that, I compiled a list of some of my favorite Chuck Norris, internet memes here to share with you. So I know there are a million of these, and there's probably more that I haven't had listed here, but I tried to put together a nice size list of some of my favorites. So here they are. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down. When Chuck Norris enters a room, he doesn't turn the lights on. He turns the dark off. Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. Death once had a near Chuck experience. Chuck Norris can divide by zero. There is no theory of evolution, just a list of creatures Chuck Norris allows to live. Chuck Norris doesn't wear a watch. He decides what time it is. The boogeyman checks his closet at night for Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris, this is one of my favorite ones, Chuck Norris can hear sign language. Chuck Norris doesn't read books. He stares them down until he gets the information he needs. Chuck Norris once threw a grenade and killed 50 people. Then the grenade exploded. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. Chuck Norris doesn't get brain freeze. Slurpees know better. When the Hulk gets angry, he turns into Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can win a game of Connect Four in 3 moves. Chuck Norris doesn't do math. Numbers solve themselves out of fear. Chuck Norris beat the sun at a staring contest. Chuck Norris can unscramble an egg. Chuck Norris once kicked a horse in the chin. Its descendants are now known as giraffes. And lastly, Chuck Norris can light a fire by rubbing 2 ice cubes together. And just as a bonus, I have this one here. Some people have their filmography listed on their IMDb pages. Chuck Norris has a list of confirmed kills. If there's any Chuck Norris jokes that I forgot that you'd like to contribute, you can send them to our email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or message us on any of our social media platforms. I'd love to hear your jokes, and I will read them out and give you a shout out on our next episode. Again, this was a very quick little mini pod that I decided to do since the guys are off this week, and I wanted to talk about the Oscars and the passing of Chuck Norris. So thank you, everybody, for joining me for this quick little mini episode. Hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as I enjoyed recording it for you. Again, you can email us at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or go to linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links, including a link to our Patreon, patreon.com/filmsandfermentation. You can watch us on the Podnation Media Network on Roku, on YouTube, and on Rumble, or text us at 904-867-4466. Don't forget to stop by the crossroads between Pickled and Fermented for our next full episode, which will be episode 232. That is going to be dropping on Tuesday, April 7th. So please stick around for that. We're going to be doing a This Year in Film History for 1986. There are a lot of movies turning 40 this year, and we thought it'd be the easiest way to talk about all of them is just talk about the year 1986. So come join us for that episode on April 7th. In the meantime, for Kevin and Mike, I'm Leo. This has been the Films and Fermentation podcast. Cheers, everybody.